Okay, so Nerd on the Internet here, and I here have a Gunpla that I built in a live stream recently. This is 1 to 144 scale HG Dantalion from Iron Blooded Orphans. Um, I built this in a live stream, I mentioned, and one of the features of this thing is that it had those giant arms on its back, and in the HG kit, these fingers were actually all joined together in like a single block, and they were all like moving together. What I did in the live stream was I just sliced these, well, sawed these separate, so now it's like 5 fingers instead of just 2 large fingers. The only problem now is that the fingertips uh, have a propensity to escape like this. They tend to slide off. Previously, it would just clip off because they were wider and it would like spread out and like spread the force more, I guess, and kind of hold it together a little bit more. But it still would come out from time to time. But now it's like a bit more uh, aggressive that way. So I'm gonna try to fix that. Um, this is the runner. These parts were on, so it's the same material and same color. What I'm gonna do is like I sliced a little tiny piece off one of those somewhere, one of these, I guess, and kind of just like trimmed it a little bit. It's a very tiny piece of plastic. I don't know how well this is going to work. I'm just trying this for the first time. What I'm gonna try to do is kind of turn this around a bit, right, like this, and then kind of insert it in here, like so. So it's kind of in there. Then what I'm gonna do is, this is my trusty plastic cement. So hopefully without seizing everything. So take the tiniest of drops, and it fell out. Let's try this again. Take this slither here. I'm gonna take some. We're basically like gluing shavings of plastic in the gap there to hold the parts together. So tiniest of drops. Just a dot there. And then just let it go in there. Maybe a tiny drop more. It shouldn't. There. And then just move the finger, just make sure this is loose while this is drying so it doesn't seize up. And probably not necessary, but alright, so that kinda did it there, I think. Yeah, so now it's no longer coming out. I can just, once this is fully cured, I can just shave this off. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do it some more. So I'm gonna try, I don't know, let's just pick something that kind of works. I guess this one works. This long pole here. Need something thin. Well, maybe it'll work. Right, so just cut a piece. Just a tiny piece. Just a minute microscopic piece here. It's a bit too thick, I guess. Probably won't fit in here. Yeah. Oh, maybe it will. Yeah. That's still in there and kind of stuck now. Oh, that went in there. Or we can just use a knife there to kind of just slice off a tiny piece. Well, not exact science, but you get the idea. There you go. Tiny piece off of this. It's just so enough so we have something holding it in place. So let's do this other one. This one I tried to like melt with a solder and touch it with a solder iron to like, melt the plastic in place, but that doesn't necessarily work. So just trying to drop that in there. There we go. Okay. So then, we should do it on the inside rather than the outside, but that works. And then push that in there and press. So yeah, we're just, there we go. So the other one is in there properly. Yep, that works. And then after that, once it's all very solidly dry, I could probably add a little bit more, just add on both sides, like little slithers. Let's try doing these little very thin pieces here. Probably going to be a bit difficult. Is this kit bashing? I guess it's kit bashing. So just slice off a tiny piece. I'm going to use my old nippers here because they are still sharp. They will do the job. Just cut this tiny slither. Tiny slither. Oh, that's a bit too much. Well, you're basically using shavings of plastic, so this might work. So if I do just shave a little bit of plastic here. Have a few shavings. Just big enough that it causes, it's like very, very thin. So let's take this arm again. Let's try it on one of this. Put it on the inside instead of the outside. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, the whole point of this is trying to fix this. There. So now it's kind of in there, and then I try to just the tiniest of dots on the lower end here. There. And then make sure we take the metal thing here. Alright, so let's see. It is still kinda coming out. So dot there. Just give it a second. Yep. Still moving. I need like a take a strip like this, and it's very thin. Alright, so let's see. Very, very thin piece. Let's try. Did it work? Yeah, kinda. Slide this in there. Alright, so let it go in there. Yeah, it doesn't have to be that thin, I guess. So then, dot of glue here on the end that is not touching the other plastic. So just let it dry. This should still move a bit. Alright, so yeah, it's in there. Alright. So just let it dry. So I guess this will work. So if we do very, very thin shavings here. Just do a bunch. Some of these are just flying off. Not a very exact science, but it just works. Let's make sure these are somewhat separate. Kind of have to find a small piece that's going to fit in there. Alright, so we did one finger, let's do the other two fingers. Take a tiny piece. I'll take a tiny piece. Kinda. You may need to like use something to flatten it out a bit. For example, pliers. Just take the plastic that you want to use, just press it, and now it's the right size. Just take this and just, what's the wrong one? These ones. Just drop it in there. Or try to. Just do the middle one here. Alright, so it's a bit too thick. Yeah, so this is difficult. We're dealing with tiny piece of plastic. I don't even know if it's visible on camera. Maybe I should press these before I... Try doing the middle one here. So you don't need to do both sides, just one. Just so that the finger kind of get it in there as much as possible. Alright, so, and tiniest of dots. Okay. Should melt the plastic a little bit here. Alright, so, still moving. Okay. Let's do the other ones. Try to find... Oh, there we go. The one I crushed earlier. It's barely visible, probably. Put this one on the inside track here. Okay, got stuck in the wrong place. Oh, get out. Just drop it in there. Could probably do with some more on the other side though. They're just like very thin shavings here. Kind of hard to hold on to. Almost flew off. I can always get away with more. Just crush it to size, I guess. There we go. Got a slit there. Problem is, like, these just fly off as soon as you cut them. Yeah, not an exact science, but close enough. So, if you get a piece that fits in there, this is kind of hard. Just needed to get in there somehow. Maybe we're doing it with the wrong tools. That's right. Different approach. Trouble is that these things just fly off as soon as I cut them. Okay, I got something. So cut that. Sure it doesn't fly away. Get a piece. This small piece will do. Try to hold it. And try to insert it in there. There we go. Now and it flew off. Wait, not in there. Okay. Alright, so it's the tiniest of dots. Right there. It should glue it. Oh, there we go. There. Just move it a bit to make sure it doesn't seize up. They're all moving just fine. And we'll let that dry for a second. These two are in there just fine. They're not going to come out again. You can always come back here and just use a file, what have you, and just gently, very gently. Don't apply pressure. There we go. You can of course paint this a bit to give it a more finished look. It's in there. It's not gonna come out. See how these. All right. Not gonna come out. It's not coming out. Yeah. It's going to rotate and what have you, but not come out. Alright, so now we have a perfectly functional, well, not perfectly, but fairly functional hand here. So the shading's off there. Carefully. There we go. Just need to make sure the fingers are kind of separate and doing their own thing. There we go. This actually does this thing. I'm not sure if that's intended. Maybe it is. Goes all the way here. Goes all the way there. So you can have somewhat of a full range of motion here. Look at that, not bad. So doing the other arm here. Just remove the arm from the Gundam for easier access. So this should be a bit easier. So let's try. Let's use this one here. So cut, cut. Just try to make sure the thing doesn't fly off. And cut. Slowly. Alright. So you have two larger pieces. These are going to go in the thumbs. A bit large, but it will do. I put that on the inside. Fine. It's fine where it is. Whichever one it lands on, it will do. So, push that in there. It's kind of patchy, but when I drop it, it's a bit too thick. It's like I drop them and then they just roll off somewhere. That's right. This one's a bit big. Maybe I should use my regular nippers for this. It's a bit thicker for the, a bit too thick. Still too thick. Let's do 3 or 4 for the, that flew off. Aim it at the table, I guess. Yeah, these are a bit, it's not very precise, but alright, so this one goes on the thing here. You kind of push it in. You can use this maybe. Just push this in as much as it'll go. Alright. Then take a tiniest of dots. Just join it on there. Should be enough to There we go. That'll do it. Still moving. Solidly in there. Actually a bit stiffer than the other one, but you could probably like fix it too. Like if this one's too loose, you could probably like put thicker pieces on the inside to kind of make them press more. But yeah, that's the general idea. And yeah, these are looking good. Not gonna fall off anymore. So same here. They're not gonna fall off. You can just polish those away. Like the excess plastic here. These are gonna take a little while. Probably gonna need to find like nice slithers to put in there. But yeah, this is how I fix these fingers after modding them. Alright, that's it.